Okay guys, welcome to my S90L, and if you haven't joined me on my full tour and review, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a walk around right now before we take this thing on a drive. This is a 2023 Volvo S90. It's really called the L, but in the US we just call it the S90. Now, it only comes in the B6 version if you want just gas. It is a mild hybrid, though you can get the recharge version, which is a plug-in hybrid. Crazy amounts of power, around like 455-ish horsepower. You got EV driving range, and I just think the S90 looks so cool still. It's really bold and kind of like big, grand status symbol of a luxury sedan. Really love the design of it, and it's sad I'm getting rid of it, unfortunately, next week. Though something else hopefully will be coming in the pipeline eventually. Nonetheless, I love the design of S90. Love these taillights as well. They look super, super cool. It just has such a road presence still. But I want to go take you guys on a drive to show you guys what is that like. So let's hop inside now. Let me just show you the insane amount of space you get in these rear seats. Huge amounts of legroom back there, but definitely check out my full review to see all the fun features back there. Hopping inside, it's pretty easy. Really nice cabin. I'm going to miss this thing. Nice solid thunk from the doors. And let's head off. Okay guys, welcome to the inside of my S90L. I'm just gonna turn the light on for you guys right now real quick, and we're gonna about to take this on a drive. And just as a little bit of a recap, what are we dealing with here? So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 4-cylinder mild hybrid system, 48-volt electrical system, of an 8-speed, I think it's an ASIN gearbox. I believe it's a Japanese gearbox, so no ZF transmission in here. It works pretty fine. It's very smooth actually. You don't really notice it too much. It's very luxury focused. Our start stop button's right in the center here. No drive modes or anything. It's just get up and go, and you really have a very basic controls for everything. So let's head off. And we have this really funky little shifter here that's actually hollow in the center. Now if you get the top end ultimate package, you will be getting a crystal shifter from Auraforce, which is really beautiful, but this is cool as well. Popping it into drive, you actually have a manual mode too if you push this left or right, which is kind of cool. No paddle shifters anymore on Volvos, but let's head on a drive. Now it is very quiet in here. There's acoustically laminated glass, lots of sound deadening. Even there's a sound deadening cover on the top of the engine as well. And you know, after living with this car for the past, geez, like 5 or 6 months, it is sad that we are getting rid of it, unfortunately, but it's such a cruiser car. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started driving it, I was very more acclimated to sportier, smaller vehicles, even some like SUVs and stuff. So it took a little bit of time getting used to the S90L, and it's huge. Like, I cannot reach the other side of the vehicle. And the S60, for example, the smaller Volvo sedan, I can. It's a lot of space. It's really wide, really long, and you definitely notice it on the roads. And it has that nice, imposing luxury car stance. And as you can hear, it's very quiet inside, and after driving a whole bunch of other cars while having this, you can definitely notice how floaty and kind of comfort-tuned the suspension is. Though I will have to say, compared to some other luxury sedans in this segment, this technically completes in the 5 Series E-Class segment, even though it has a huge rear space, so it's kind of like a long wheelbase version of that area of the segment. It doesn't really compete against the 7 Series or an S-Class. It isn't the most refined ride, if I was gonna kind of like talking about that. It's a little bit harsh sometimes in some areas, and you know, I wish it could be a little bit more refined over some harsher bumps and some road imperfections, though it does pretty much soak up everything really well, especially on the highway. That's where you really notice that just cruising attitude that it just snaps into gear, and you really is a fantastic highway cruiser, especially with Volvo's pilot assist function. And the steering is very, very light. It's not like so light to the point where it's like, oh, I can't, it's like a little bit unsettling. There is some heft to it, and you can adjust that actually in the settings, so you can turn on steering feel firm or light. I haven't noticed too much of a difference between the two, so I just keep it on firm all the time, but it is still very light. There's zero feedback to what's going on to those front wheels though. But you know, it's a luxury sedan, so that's how it's supposed to be driven. You can kind of hear that gearbox just smoothly going through all those gears very calmly. And the throttle pedal, even itself, you know, there's almost a lot of travel before you really get some power on, but the power comes on smoothly and softly until you put your foot down. It takes a little bit for a kick down to kind of kick in, and you kind of get off. Now you have around like 295-ish horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. So again, it's a torque-focused engine, so all that torque's coming down lower in the RPM range to kind of give you that thrust off the line. And this is a big vehicle. It's around like 4,800 pounds of a car, so I definitely might want to try out the recharge to kind of get that extra power maybe off the line if you want to feel like you have a little more control. And honestly, that heft might even help settle the suspension a little bit more. But I'm glad I have the 19-inch wheels and not the larger ones, because those come with thinner tires, and it honestly kind of ruins the ride a little bit. So I actually like these 19-inch wheels with a thicker sidewall. And the real beauty with Volvos is just the simplicity and ease of use of pretty much everything. There's not a lot of buttons and stuff everywhere, and all your basic controls are right there for you. And there's not even like a lot of configurable displays, and some people may hate that, some people may like that, but I like it in the sense that I have your tachometer, I have my speedometer, and I can have a map on or off. Yes, I do like to have some more kind of customizability at these displays. I wish there was more of that. Like now you can add Apple CarPlay maps up here instead of just Google Maps. That's a new update, but for I think the everyday person who's just having this car, or maybe if you're like a livery driver, like a taxi driver or Uber driver or something, it's just simple. And this thing returns pretty good fuel economy if you are in that space too. I got up to, I think, 35 miles per gallon on the highway one time, which just shocked me. And even fuel range, it has around a 16-gallon tank. I think it's 15.9 gallons. I've seen like 550, 580 miles of the total range when you fill it up. And it does take premium fuel, but the good fuel economy and that high range really does go a long way on the highway. And that's a huge thanks really to that 48-volt system, and for the fact that it mostly drives in front-wheel drive most of the time until you need power, and it'll constantly just send it back to the rear wheels. I think it could send up to 50% of the torque and power to those rear wheels. But it never really feels like a front-wheel drive car when you're just going on at it. Obviously, when you're kind of like flooring it a little bit, kind of going in turns, you do feel that front weight a little bit more. But, you know, again, that's not what this car is about. It's about cruising. And that also goes to say with these gigantic side mirrors, you have a lot of visibility in here, more so than you may think for a luxury sedan. And I do love these frameless rear view mirrors in the center that a lot of automakers are doing now. It doesn't have any kind of camera, which I actually don't like that, but this is a really great option. And all of these are auto dimming, so if someone's flashing with their lights behind you, it will kind of dim it. And another fun thing about this is that, sure, there may not be any like crazy ambient lighting, but it has this very subtle ambient lighting touch throughout the interior that it's actually very almost soothing in a way. And it's this warm yellowish white light. It's not like full LED, and it's, you can find it's under all of the wood panels. It's not dark enough right now for you to see it, but it is a nice little touch in the interior. I think it's on. Yeah, it is. Let me put it on high, and all you guys, you can see up here, these lights have like this little circle illumination on them, and to turn them on, you just press the button right there to fully activate them. And that you can adjust in the settings throughout the cabin. Now I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an acceleration onto the highway on-ramp right now, just so you can see what that power feels like in this big heavy sedan. Though we have to keep in mind that, you know, it's not a sports car at all. Oh, that weight through the corners is hefty. And this is full throttle here. Long gears. Whoa, okay. And once you really get up and going, it starts picking up really quickly. These gears are definitely not tuned for any sort of aggression or anything. It's really tuned for comfort, fuel economy, and again, that luxury experience. So don't ever expect anything kind of sporty here. The best thing about Volvos, if you've seen my other videos with them, is their pilot assist function. And it's just so easy to use and turn on, and it works so well. Like, now don't do this, I'm not recommending to do this, but it's steering itself around this corner, and it goes on for a while before it starts yelling at you to take control over the wheel. There you go, hold steering wheel. It's just a fantastic system on the highway. Your following distance controls are right here. A lot of automakers are actually removing this function, and I just personally really like it a lot. You can control your speed, and they just introduced a new feature with their new software update for 2023 where you can press this right button and it deactivates the steering, so you just have regular adaptive cruise. I'm not sure why anyone would really want that. I like to have the steering assist on when I have my pilot assist on. I think it's a really useful feature. And if you do need to pass someone, it takes a little bit to downshift, but that power does come on strong, especially when you're up and going already. Coming up from a start, it's a little bit slow, but on the highway, you need to just like drop down a few gears and go. It actually comes on pretty strong, and that torque pushes you through so well. And then you can just hear how just quiet. And right here is where I think the S90 is at home the most. You're on the open highway, turn on pilot assist, it goes up through increments of 5, it's pretty cool, and you're set and going. Opportunity to test out the audio system in this car. So, in my full review, if you haven't watched that, Volvo does offer 3 different audio systems for the S90. Now, this is the base audio system, and I'm going to put base in quotes because this is a really fantastic system actually. The next system is the Harman Kardon system that you'll get as standard in the Ultimate package, and then you can also option in the Ultimate package for the Bowers Wilkins premium audio system. I believe in the S90 you're getting 19 speakers, which is crazy, and it just sounds absolutely incredible. I just had an S60. I'm going to put a clip in there so you can hear what that sounds like versus this. But it's just a wonderful sounding audio system. And this actually, for a base audio system, is really, really good. And it actually blew me away a little bit of how good it is. After getting in and out of other cars, I'm like, this is a base audio system. So I'm going to find a song for you guys to play really quick. Keep in mind, this is a huge vehicle, so you have a lot of space for that audio to kind of resonate throughout the interior. So I'm going to play a song called Ethereal by Kronos. Thank you for letting us use this. Go follow them and make sure to check them out on TikTok. And I'm going to open the audio settings for you guys so you can kind of get a taste to see what you can do. Only can adjust the treble and the bass, but it's a pretty good bass system. Okay guys, that was a little bit of an audio system test. And like I said, it's nothing like outstanding, but for a base audio system, thankfully it is pretty solid. It's pretty clear, a lot of bass if you wanted to have, and I just think it sounds very, very good actually for this entry-level version of the S90. And these seats are so comfortable. I just never feel, you never really feel fatigued or tired or you're like, oh, I need to get out of this seat. Even after like 2 or 3 hours, which is fantastic. And Volvo, you know, makes some of the best seats on the road right now. But I am gonna miss this thing. And if you're looking in this segment, it's definitely an oddball of a vehicle to get. But if you really like big, unique luxury sedans that kind of have this bold statement that don't really look like everything else on the road, you definitely have to check out the Volvo S90. Nonetheless, guys, thank you for joining me on this video, and as always, stay tuned for more coming from Allcarnews. Cheers.